Welcome back to the EU LCS 2017 Summer Promotion Tournament, where Misfits are just one game away from earning a spot in the EU LCS over Schalke 04. But with promo almost over, playoffs are on the horizon. Tickets are now on sale at a reduced price for the Summer Finals in Krakow, Poland. Head over to lolesports.com for details on how you can join us there.
Thank you, Pyra.
You're welcome. But for now, stick with us because we're about to have at least one more game.
At least one more game. Judging from the last two games, it probably will only be one more game.
That's so rough for Schalke.
Schalke's stuck on
not
blue
had a great
side.
series.
Yeah, stuck on blue side again. Just got destroyed in the last game. Don't really seem to have a whole lot of answers for how to get this mid lane priority here. I think Rise or Karma would have been better choices in the last game than going for the blind pick Kassadin. They know Selfie plays Varus now. They know Misfits can play this poke composition, so Kassadin is definitely off the table.
And we'll find out what is on the table. We're to pick some bands for what could be the final time. Misfits 2-0 right now over Schalke, who once again starting on the blue side. Same band so far, just the Kassadin. It's going to be followed by the Nidalee.
Yeah, we know Misfits are going to ban Nidalee, Malzahar, Fiora. It's not going to change. Schalke last game first picked Gnar, which was a little bit of an odd one. Not terrible, but...
Ah, the Karma ban.
Okay, so now they're going to first pick the Vladimir, most likely, and they removed the Karma as the pick Misfits used in the last game against the Vladimir. Technically, Misfits could just ban Vlad here if they wanted to, because they got last pick mid, unless Selfie has other picks. I mean, you can actually just Varus against the Vladimir too. So, technically, if Schalke goes Vlad here, you might just see Misfits run a poke comp again, just like in the last game. And be perfectly fine with that, because Vladimir doesn't offer safe, reliable wave clear when you're sieging on his turret. He's only good if he's in the minion wave itself, which he won't be when you're actually sieging. So if they want to run Echo here again, they can just go like Echo Gragas, or they can go Gnar Gragas, and you have your staple, your core that you picked in every game.
I mean, Schalke just haven't been able to deny it. Actually prioritizing the Tahm Kench now, so they take the Gragas as well. They don't need to pick the counter mid just yet.
Or we'll definitely save mid lane pick. Actually, don't have to now, as you said, because Vladimir is locked in, so you could just go and show the mid lane pick next. But if you want to run like the Varus again, you might want to save that one. Tahm Kench I actually really like here, because he's very, very good in these specific siege comps. Because he's very good against hard engage, and he has his ability to go to side lanes and impact them and catch people trying to push out. Because one of the ways you beat siege comps is by playing 1-3-1 and never allow them to siege in the first place. But Tahm Kench stops you from playing aggressive in the side lane and push, because he shows up behind you with a friend. And
he
like
keeps saving everyone's lives.
And he also keeps saving people's lives.
He denied so many kills that last game.
So Tahm Kench is annoying, can also go top lane for Alfari if he wants to pick it for that. So
but the Gnar's still up.
High chance we see Misfits run the Varus again against the Vladimir. Unless maybe there's a spicy like Cassiopeia showing up.
Maybe.
From Selfie. Showing Trundle support on the side of Schalke already. And the Echo top.
Yeah, eliminating the potential there for the flex, since they show both already. Misfits back over to them.
An old counter. I say old from this split.
Yeah.
Where teams started running, especially over Korea.
The meta's changed quite a lot. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, but a lot of teams in Korea started running the Nivea. Don't want to see LeBlanc. We don't need it.
No, Selfie's having a good time though.
He's showing off his gems. So you can pick Gnar into Echo. It's not the greatest matchup in the world, but it's not terrible either by any means. It is fairly even if they want to run Echo. Oh, sorry, the Gnar top here, unless you want to take that Tahm Kench up to the top lane, and if you want to save Selfie's pick. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then it's like Ashe again. Why not? You're building this composition that has a lot of poke.
As you said.
Why not?
Locked in. So the Gnar, the Ashe, they've got themselves the damage. They've got themselves a way to get in and out of several fights. Misfits still looking for a very, very strong composition here. Just have to round it out with the mid lane. What does Schalke answer with on their last rotation?
Well, so Schalke can see now the setup for a poke comp for Misfits. So Schalke needs ways to start team fights reliably. Bard is a great option to block something like a Varus, because Varus also slows himself down when he charges Q. But Spartel has not been very comfortable playing Bard before.
He's only had one game on it.
And also the Trundle is already locked in, so they kind of put themselves in a situation now where they don't have any hard engage. Unless they go from the jungle. Because you have shown mid lane, they've shown top, they've shown support already in the first 3 picks, meaning you're kind of running out of options if you are Schalke in your last rotation. Like a Hecarim again could have been a choice. Lee Sin is not a great pick against Tahm Kench.
No,
but Lee Sin is like, I'm going to insect the AD carry, devour. And yeah, you can kick back to Tahm Kench technically and have the AD carry follow, but it is very hard to do. This is a comfort for Schalke more than anything. This is Gilius evolving into God Gilius to try and pull Schalke back in this series here.
We'll see if he can do it. Schalke have one last chance.
Why not go for the same as before?
Yeah.
Honestly. Just, you showed you could play a great poke composition. Varus is more than fine against the Vlad. There is no reliable hard engage on the side of Schalke on their side. Like, because again, Trundle was shown so early. I vote for Varus.
Yeah. And why not at this point? Worked out well for them last time around.
Aurelion Sol's great in poke comps as well.
Yeah, and there's also the Anivia option.
Okay.
Think it over, lock it in. That's fine. Selfie picks it up.
Yeah, it's okay still.
Bird in the word, Officio.
Anivia is a pick a lot of mid laners like against Vlad. Not specifically to destroy him in laning phase, but more outside of the laning phase. Vladimir obviously is a champion who ghosts and dives your backline by running at you. He doesn't have any gap closes other than the proto build he's building. Yeah. Anivia slows him down, walls him. Basically kites against him with Ash Volley, Anivia slow down. As I said, the wall before.
There's so few ways that you can kill this team because you have a fairly tanky front line in the Gnar, the Gragas, and the Tahm Kench. And as long as Tahm Kench is able to get there and eat somebody in time, which Ignar did very well last game, I don't see anybody going down anytime soon on this Misfits lineup.
Schalke also with the Vlad Jhin combination again, where I prefer Vlad with something like Lucian or Sivir, especially Sivir. Yeah. I would love to see a Sivir here instead of the Jhin, because then you speed up the Vlad, first of all, giving him extra mobility, and second of all, because you deal so much AoE damage in fights, Vladimir can sit in the backline and very, very easily just like clean the rest of the fight. Jhin is the kind of guy who kind of picks one target and goes for that one specific target. Vladimir is the big AoE mage who doesn't really do the same, and it's hard for Jhin to kind of reach that backline as easy as like a Ricochet bouncing or Boomerang.
Or even using Lucian. I mean, we haven't seen him go on for this time. It's still a lot of question marks. Puzzling. We'll see if Schalke can pull this one back around and try to get the series back on track. If you agree, you want to be tweeting hashtag S04win at LOL Esports. Of course, if you think Misfits are going to close this one out and earn themselves a spot in the LCS Spring Split for 2017, hashtag MSFwin. One more time. Let's see who's going to take this one away. Can Misfits complete the sweep?
Yeah, I feel like Pyra after this pick and ban phase, it looks even better for Misfits. Had an answer to basically everything Schalke wanted to pick. And left Schalke with Gilius as the man to really start the fights against a Tahm Kench.
Will it be God Gilius this game? He's playing a comfortable champion, something Wisdom knows all about as well.
Again, we might just see Gilius go in and kick back to Tahm Kench when he devours like the Ash and you try and kill him like that. But rest of Schalke is kind of running at Misfits and not that much damage from Schalke either. It's basically the damage is Vladimir mainly, and then Jhin to like pick off a target.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's so many tanks, you're gonna have to shred through them constantly.
Yeah, exactly. It's really on funny enough with Schalke, the mid and jungle combination. It's all about them being able to actually win these fights, because you got the main damage dealer in mid and you got the main engage from your jungle. But it's really, really difficult against Anivia Ashe as well to play Vladimir, because you're gonna get kited around in these fights over and over.
This is interesting. Hansama and Ignar have actually elected to go for the lane swap.
Same as last game.
Blind, yeah. This time it looks to be a bit more standard. They're going to go for the invade. There we go.
It's exactly the same invade they did last game. Now they're just changing up the pathing a little bit on how they approach the blue buff. They won't find them this time around. We'll find them at the wolf camp. You can actually try and devour the wolf camp, the big wolf, and steal it. Oh, he tried!
Oh, good attempt.
Didn't get it.
That was a flashy catfish.
I've seen it quite a few times. Tahm Kench walks in, devours the big wolf, and kills it.
And it just runs away.
And then he runs away, yeah, because you deal actually quite a lot of damage to it. But flash just half a second too late for Ignar. You don't need to flash that often in lane swaps, but it is a fairly long cooldown. He tried, he went all in for it. When you're 2-0 in a BO5, you can try some of the
just put the fear in him.
Riskier plays. And now we just get the same kind of lane swap. Misfits comp, it's exactly the same kind of setup as last game. It's the 3-1-1 we talked about, where Nivea doesn't want to go side lane, so she's the one in mid. And it's AD carry support and jungle kind of covering one side. And then the top lane of TP covering the other side of the map. And then you push in that lane with the AD carry support, junglers backup obviously, and then you move them to mid. And you start setting up these sieges with the Nivea, with the Ashe. And Schalke then have to engage. And if they can't, because of Tahm Kench, because of the composition Schalke run, they lose tower eventually and get nothing. So it's really hard to play against these kind of kite comps when you don't have any sort of hard engage or proper TP flanking, which they don't have in this game.
It's going to be a difficult task, but just to come back into even one game, Schalke will have their work cut out for them to even go farther in the series. Towers get traded. Looks like Misfits slightly behind, but that's all right, and they will this time give the gold over to Alfari, so he's not going to have too many income problems this time around. And little Nar can afford to buy himself a new suit.
Bought a new suit yesterday, bro. It's beautiful.
Is it Nar size, though?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I buy
You have to have some really stretchy suits if you're Nar. Oh, apparently Deficio as well.
Definitely. I just like to wear yodel-sized outfits, because I'm definitely not a tall guy at all.
No, not. Definitely not. It just looks that way on camera.
The camera adds 40 centimeters to my height. Let's just add that part.
All right. Spraddle's going to find Alfari here, up in the top side. Should easily be able to get away from him, not before having a bite taken out. So the reverse of the swap will happen. Alfari still got his TP, should he want to use it, and so will Steve. Or they may just take the long path, as Hansama and Ignar are zoning him away.
Standard lane swap. Yada, yada, yada. Not too exciting. This time around, they're not sending Alfari around, trying to sacrifice him. He is recalling fairly late on top because he stayed a little bit longer to try and pick up a little bit of extra farm.
Spraddle also went a little further for him.
He can just TP bot lane on the Gnar. He actually should just TP on the minion, make it invulnerable, and just take down the tower, get the gold. That's what he's doing now. Good for you, Alfari. And again, super, super standard. We're looking at junglers, what they're doing on the map, because junglers can gank the mid lane.
Well, I mean, this is already, like, Misfits. This is the kind of stuff you definitely have to do for LCS. You need to be able to, maybe not when new patches come in, obviously, but you need to be able to do the standard swap, and this is what sunk them against Origin. So, you know, they've settled into doing something a lot more standard. Yes, it's less pressure on them right now.
To be fair, it's really hard to mess up the swap at this stage of the game. It's actually after you get these tier 1 tower down, you can make mistakes, and you can actually fall really far behind, but at this point here...
Yeah, obviously it's rare to see something like that happen, but they've clearly covered up, you know, the couple of issues they did have. It's no longer an issue, no longer a problem. Get the faster tower, actually, and Steve actually is taking a little bit more time to do this.
To be fair, a little time for him to take down tower. He wanted to kill the minions anyway, as many as possible.
Ooh, not that bad. Still, though,
minions
didn't take damage. There's still a couple of minions there. Selfie's going to have to retreat to base. Advantage built up by Fox, though.
There's one of the big things. I remember when this Anivia into Vladimir matchup was a big thing in the start of the split. We saw it a lot. Vladimir was even stronger than he is right now. And a lot of people said, yeah, you know, Anivia just destroys Vladimir in lane and everything. I'm like, no, she never did. She didn't destroy Vladimir in lane.
We didn't see it that often either. It was a couple of players.
Korea used it like all the time. Europe didn't use it very often.
It was mostly Sencooks, if I recall correctly.
Sure. Yeah, he was one of the guys playing Anivia, but lane phase-wise, again, Anivia doesn't destroy the Vladimir. It's, again, outside of lane once you get to team fights, where Anivia can control the Vlad in team fights very often. Problem was people got the wrong impression very quickly because it was actually Faker who played like the Anivia matchup into Vlad. And Faker tends to do pretty well in lane, so he won the lane, and people were like, ah, there we go, that's it. Anivia one-shots Vlad every time after level 6.
I don't know if that's a good measure of counters.
Easy peasy.
It's just Faker countering everyone. So, fairly even game, of course, with the lane swap standard, but Schalke do have a CS differential that's built up into a decent bit of a lead, and this is the first time Fox has actually found himself in an edge in CS.
Yeah, finally he's getting some priority in the mid lane, but now because of a lane swap, you haven't really been able to use your jungle to invade. Because you kind of swap, you just split up the map 50-50, gentleman's agreement, and you just get half of the jungle each on either side. Steve has decided to push the top wave, so he might be ahead in CS now, but if he cannot push this all the way into tier 2 tower together with Gilius, then Alfari will be in a good spot. So Alfari needs to get pushed all the way into tower here, meaning Gilius is on top side.
Okay, Fox, good pool there to get out of danger. But yeah, Gilius up on top side doesn't actually help him push, he just goes in.
He's back up.
And he's on the backside though. Selfie, the kick right in, and they're gonna take him down. Unless he can flash out of danger. No, egged up. And that's going to be first blood. Who do they give it over to? Looks like it'll be Fox.
Nice setup here from Gilius. He was top side to protect his top laner, so Steve could push his wave all the way into tower, as we talked about, so you don't see a big freeze from Alfari. Paths down to the mid lane, and surprises Selfie with the flash kick. happening.
Yeah, it worked well for him, so a little surprise and selfie. Finds himself down a couple of summoners. Wisdom's got to be careful not to dive too deep into Fox. Going all in for him. Oh, Ignar eats him up.
It's not going to help him yet.
Nope,
he's fine.
Staying alive. Just barely, though. Wisdom a little bit low here, and Fox is having a much better game than we've seen all series.
A lot of pressure in the mid lane coming from Schalke this time around. Big CS difference. This is what Schalke needs to win games, is they need their mid laner to win early on. Allow Gilius to invade the enemy jungle. Allow Gilius to play aggressive. Always have a guy who can help him. It's just a great gank. Selfie not flashing after he actually saw the flash, because this is not a kick flash from Gilius, so there's time to react for Selfie. If he sees the situation quicker, he sees the flash from Gilius, and then he flashes himself, and he actually gets kicked into tower. If you kick flash on the other hand, where you charge up your kick first and then flash, there's no reaction time. So Selfie could actually have flashed after he saw Gilius show up with his flash and survived, but he ended up going down. Flashing after, use that very important cooldown. Looking good for Schalke so far, and they need this so badly, Pyro. Like, they need a big win here to believe.
Yeah, they definitely do. After going down in quick succession, 70 minutes of play, and they found themselves in a 2-0 deficit. Misfits are the ones now on the back foot in game number 3, but still, it is not anywhere near over yet. Misfits looking to push a big wave in on the bottom side, but Rallis and Spraddle are there to absorb it anyways. So the gold lead still there for Schalke. If they can keep extending this, they can keep pushing themselves forward. And as you said, it was all on Fox to provide that damage, all on Gilius to be able to help him out. So far, so good.
Interesting build from Gilius with his
yeah, quick Ruby Sidestone.
Rushing Ruby Sidestone for the extra HP and obviously the extra ward. Play aggressive. Would most likely go Skirmisher, Saber then. Getting a bit more dueling potential, and then to try and just honestly make big plays all the time. It's not a build I've seen too often, but then again, we don't see Lee Sin in the meta from a lot of junglers.
Not a whole lot.
Now.
Even Wisdom, last time he played it was ages ago in Challenger.
Definitely. So Gilius skipping boots early, rushing the Ruby Sidestone for the extra HP, and I think we might see him just try and honestly go hyper aggressive and just try and insect everything that moves.
That crab is far away from home.
Will get kicked by Gilius.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got it.
Well, he goes home and he gets killed. Rough story.
That's it's an unhappy Scuttle Crab.
Definitely. Doesn't have the greatest life. Technically, it doesn't actually die. Just goes underwater and hides.
And until it pops back up.
And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna pop back up, and then I'm gonna go under again.
It's a PG-13 game, Deficio.
Good point. Wait, so we don't kill Baron either? It goes like, I
mean, that's pretty hard to
and everything, like it just like all over the place.
Well, since it's exiled, or exalted, excuse me, that's two completely different things. He just sort of gives you his buffs. All right, I'm done.
Disappears and shows up again?
Yeah.
He has a weird way of disappearing, but I'll take it.
Why not? Schalke continue to grow this goal lead, 1,500. They're eyeballing Mountain Drake here. See if they can get it done. Wisdom's around.
They got to rush Abyssal Scepter now on Vlad as well. So very strong here for the first fight. Not this Proto Belt shenanigans on the first item. Go Abyssal, then Proto Belt if you want to go for it. And it is good here. And then you just try and go ham in these mid-game fights. Because we know Misfits wants to group on towers, start sieging away with their Nivea and Ashe. That's where the problem.
Fox is 1k up.
Here. Yeah,
he definitely is doing quite well this game. You've got a level advantage. He's not too worried about this Anivia.
Problem is still Pyro, even though this Vlad is strong, he needs to get to the back line and deal damage. So once Misfits gets to play in the mid game around this 3-1-1 we talk about and like grouping in mid, Vlad will most likely have to go side lane. But you don't have reliable wave clear then, other than Jhin W into ulti. So Jhin can't protect tower as well too easily. And if you move Jhin to side lane himself and sit in this 2v2, Ashe Arrow against Jhin is super effective. And then you try and take him down with like a TP or a jungle coming in. And it's very hard for Jhin then to sit in side lane with very limited protection. So normally you want to move Jhin to the mid lane. And then it's all about the Vladimir taking over side lane on his own. But then you lack some control in mid as well. It's kind of hard to move the Jhin around in this case with the amount of engage on Misfits. Because whenever Jhin is like, oh, I'm going to, you know, grenade the wave and W the wave, there's an arrow, there's a body slam flash from a Gragas, and then suddenly Jhin is gone. And that's where it becomes really difficult against hard engage to play Jhin. Gilius starting the Dragon.
He's spotted, though. I mean, there's a lot of Misfits members here. The key thing, though, for Schalke is they've got so much more vision in the opposite jungle now. They were cowed inside of their own jungle, inside of their own base, 2 games in a row. And this time it's really changed because of what they've been able to do with mid. They have a lot more control for Gilius to be able to invade, like you were saying earlier on. It's given them a lot more sight to see what Misfits are trying to do. No more unexpected flanks.
He's trying to set up a pick in the bottom lane with Gilius as well. I think the ward just spotted them moving into the bush. And Sama does have Ignore next to it. They're all pinging. There's a TP behind them.
Okay,
Gilius
one misses. The second hits onto Hansama. Gilius.
Kick back to top.
Flash. Ignore trying to get away. He might give his life for the effort. Hansama getting out of danger, but Fox is chasing him all the way down. Hema play gone while he tanks the tower. Ignor's fallen. It's Rallis that picks him up, and Selfie's kicked right back into the team. But another flash gets him back under tower. Alfari nearly mega, but can't get there in time.
So Schalke sets up the trap. They manage to execute as well, picking up another kill. Only getting the Tom Ken should be enough to get a Dragon, though. Schalke keeping the gold lead. Gets the objective as well. Kill for Rallis, so it's important these carries pick up the kills on the side of Schalke when you run a double carry setup. Double carry, I mean a Gilius carry setup. Obviously, the carries here are merely supports for what Gilius is trying to do in this game.
Yeah, but he's gracious, God Gilius. He gives away the kills, takes assists. He's a team player after all, but in comes Ignar, looking to make some team plays himself with Hansama. Don't know if this is wise. Fox is around. The parallel convergence stops him short, and Alfari tried for the hop, but Selfie gets isolated and eaten up, but taken into egg form here. Will they be able to get this one out? Schalke have already retreated on the path. Selfie comes right back on up, but that's his passive gone for a while.
Misfits trying to chase forward here, using Tom Ken's ulti and everything. It is hard for Misfits, though, to kind of chase after Schalke. With their comp, it's basically relying on just an arrow and then seeing if Wisdom can catch a target.
Yeah.
This is the setup. They are staying around, trying to play a bit safe on the bottom side, but it's a good setup from Schalke, honestly. Gilius coming in. Yeah, just kick flash the Tom Kench back with the Ashe and you pick up 2 kills. But Gilius saves it. He's waiting for a precious carry instead, like a Nivea, which he gets there.
Forces the flash, and they get an exhaust on him too. Selby wasn't able to do much here, and Alfari, I mean, that's just the unluckiest Meganar timing, of course, but he wasn't able to stack anything up. Everyone was panicking.
This is kind of, again, what Misfits did sacrifice, like with picking the Nivea, needing more time with the tier, needs like 2 items as well for Selfie before they really want to start playing aggressive around these groupings. Morel Nomicon is going to be huge for him. But it is tricky for Misfits compared to last game where they don't have that control in mid, like they had with the Varus into the Kassadin. And now find themselves further back on the map, not really able to push out lanes as effectively.
Yeah, and it's harder. They're not in that dominating position that we saw them in the first 2 games because of that pick, but also because of the fact that Schalke played with a bit more renewed vigor here. Gilius has been setting up these plays. He's looking to do it again, waiting out in these brushes. Selfie steps a little too close. He could be on the wrong side of a flash kick. Not today, though.
And we're basically just waiting now for Schalke to look for another pick with Lee Sin. If Hansama ever pushes out bot lane, he's gonna die.
Oh, speaking of Hansama, he might just die here. Tanking all the Jhin ulti shots, and in comes the Tom Kench. Was looking to body block, but there was nothing else to do.
I guess Hansama doesn't even need to push out a lane to almost die because Rallis just managed to single him out with ulti. And this is what I talk about, how Misfits are not able to like
Hansama's not left here.
They're not able to skill him.
Oh, Hans is kicked in. He doesn't have his flash available. Taken out by Gilius. Right in the back. Secret agent, God Gilius, trying to get away, but he knows he's dead on this one. Anivia claims the kill. That's Selfie. But they get the tower.
So definitely worth it from Schalke, getting a kill and tower at the same time. Steve can go back and defend top lane here and just catch the wave being pushed in by Alfari. And again, it's Schalke making plays because Misfits are not able to push out a side lane with the AD carry support and jungle and then move in and actually group a mid, because whenever they group mid, the wave is already dead because Vladimir doesn't care about Anivia right now. He's just standing in the middle of the lane. He instant wave clears. And then when there's no wave to catch from Misfits, they can't really start grouping on the tower because, well, there's no minions in the first place. 1,
paying way too much.
3, even hits the last one. Hansama is now forced back. Gillis shows up. Why does Hansama stay here? He already went back. So he's recalling, cancels recall, and then Ignar eats a minion. So now he has no Devour. That was greedy play by Misfits and clearly miscommunication because Hansama is only going back thinking that Ignar can save him in case something happens. But then he eats a minion and uses it to try and get the caster minions low enough for the tower to one-shot them. Whoops.
Yep, and Gilius, Stone Cold Killer. Right in the back. He gave his life, but that was worth to pick that one up. So, strategy working out so far, so good for Schalke. Misfits on the back foot yet again.
Trying to make a move mid now that we talk about this Vladimir going to side lane. This is where I need to see Misfits try and punish the Jhin for sitting mid. But they need flash from the Gragas to really do it, or an Ash arrow in the face, but that's very hard from fairly long range against Rallis. He also has flash if needed.
And he's got protection. Steve is there.
He does, but like if he gets locked down, there's enough damage on the side of Misfits and extra CC to follow up. And no one can deal with Vlad in the bottom lane. Like, no one. So with Schalke having a winning mid lane now and Gilius being able to invade into the jungle and make some plays, well, Schalke is suddenly looking great on the map.
Yeah, Misfits keep on losing that ground. You can see how far
That's
they've been.
the arrow
With
we
the
talked
arrow
about,
comes in, it gets
it's
dodged
hard.
away. Ralles with the Ghost Blade pop stops it from happening, and he opens up the curtain call. Gilius coming in. Ignar eating up Hansama.
There it is.
Kick back. Hans is way too low, and he gets deleted off the map by Fox coming in around the side.
He did
they
it.
take down Ignar, and they do exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that was the kick we talked about. When Tahm Kench does devour that target, kick the Tahm Kench instead. Even managed to bounce him into the Ash for extra damage. And Schalke again, able to get a kill. Gilius is not done.
Deep. He's not done. Chasing on to Wisdom right now. Gilius has a lot of damage, still the red buff. Not crazy enough to go that far. Whew. Gilius. Don't make him angry.
Well, he needs to do this 3 games in a row in order for Schalke.
Hey man, the first step's the hardest. Let's
Yeah,
take a look
first
at this
step, all
fight
right,
again.
let's see. So
Speaking
this is
of
what I
steps,
talk about with the arrow on Jhin, but it's very hard to do. So you actually want your Gragas to do this instead with Body Slam and Flash, but he doesn't have Flash right now, so there was no chance for Misfits to really do it. And this is the kick. Again, just kick the Tahm Kench instead, just as he spits out Hansama. So Hansama actually gets knocked in the air as well by Ignar.
and he flashes at the end.
And
he
takes
still
extra
died.
damage. Yeah, Flash was completely useless. Not sure why he did it.
think
Ignar
it's
needs to
Black
calm down. He had a Devour in the bottom lane to try and get the minions low. That meant Hansama shouldn't have been there. He died. Now here in the mid lane. End up flashing for no reason. Things are falling apart suddenly from Misfits.
Definitely not looking so good for that team, despite the fact that they hold a big lead in this series. 21 minutes is what we're hitting on the clock right now. Schalke have a Mountain Drake, have a 4,000 gold lead, and a whole lot of map control.
Byron, crazy stat. This is actually the largest gold lead Schalke have had since week 4 of the LCS. And it's not even that big. Like, it's like 3,000 gold.
And it's going to keep growing if that is any judgment of things. Alfari, no more Meganar, not Niran. Hansama and Ignar get brought in, and is this going to be enough to do the damage they need to finish a fight off? In comes Gilius tagging in, kicking Ignar into all of them, and they just get cut through now. But Selfie is trying to make the play nonetheless. Steve just Chrono breaks out of danger.
This is snowballing out of control. Chasing Alfari down in the bottom lane. Ignar shows up trying to be supportive, but actually ends up putting his AD carry at risk. And then Gilius shows up, manages to hit the strike. He likes to kick Ignar in this game.
Yeah, well,
why not?
Gilius is showing us why his comfort pick is Lee Sin. 2-1-5, he has had a big part of every kill. And we'll see how this all started again with Alfari getting caught.
Always looked at it as being like super risky picking these single target CC engages against Tahm Kench, but honestly the fact that every time he can just bait Ignar to eat someone and then kick him is actually really
never
effective.
got Meganar.
Boom!
Oh, right into the chin.
Beautiful.
What a combo.
Gilius
Yeah,
showing up.
Wisdom. I don't know if you should be there. Ignar's got his back, though. Still, this is looking real bad for Misfits right now. Gold League keeps on getting wider. Schalke have a couple of dragons to boot. There's another mountain coming up, so their objective take could be even easier after this. I don't know if they're strong enough to start baiting out the Baron just yet, but they are setting up for that eventuality.
And this siege comp from Misfits have not even been able to set up anything around a tower because they're never able to properly push out the side lanes first and then take mid down, because every time they go mid, they have no pressure mid at all with their setup, and then the mid lane wave is dead.
Selfie needs more time.
They're just constantly like, oh, we just have to now push this lane, and then we gotta go back and push this one. And Gilius just walks into their jungle, and then he shows up. He has CDR boots, so less cooldown on his flash. He has tons of wards. He definitely doesn't need to recall after one play, but this Ruby sidestep run.
Oh boy, Hans Sama! Rales snipes him down 4-0-2, and that is going to be an inner tower unless Ignar can do something about it. Or Alfari. 23.5 minutes.
And Schalke bouncing back.
Schalke!
It looked like a 3-0 Misfit. I was scared when I saw the pick and ban phase as well. I'm like, man, Schalke are gonna rely on Gilius going off.
Well, you can.
He did obviously go off in this game. Selfie with that first gank where he got caught out.
All right, they got one so far. Spraddle, no, he's flashing away. They can't even finish the job. Now Gilius looks to go for chasing if he can. Still tower, not gonna go that deep. So Misfits get denied again. Spraddle is even able to escape.
5k goalie, 2 dragons. Baron is alive, can be the target for Schalke just to force the team fight. And Nivea is not a big fan of having to walk down a ramp to try and fight in the river here, when she can then get flanked very, very easily.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic if you have to run at her, but that's not the case right now. Ignar trying to place that little sneaky ward outside the Baron pit, because the enemy tends to put the pink ward in the Baron pit and doesn't spot the ward just outside around the corner. But if you are Schalke, you have more than enough gold to get multiple pink wards and just cover the entire area.
Yeah, and Gilius can just chase in through the jungle here. There's not a whole lot Misfits can do to stop him and push him back. And he has allowed Fox and Rallis to really start getting an iron grip on this game. That tower is near to falling. Minion wave soon incoming, and there's not a whole lot the Misfits can do to stop that.
All Misfits is trying to do, Pyra, is just try and buy time, but you can't.
Curtain call. Selfie, he's gonna flap away. Yeah, you need a lot more time than that. Gilius is able to hop through that wall. Still.
I mean, the only thing with Misfits is they're lucky that Schalke are not buying any pinks. So Misfits have vision on Baron and can just stay at towers. And try and just wave clear as much as possible and hope that Schalke messes up around like the next 5-6 Baron attempts and don't actually probably get
Oh, okay. Speaking of messing up, Selfie finds himself caught all up, turned into an egg. And it's going to be hard-boiled. Rallis gets another kill for himself. That is Fox now moving forward, looking for more. Ignar getting everybody out, trying for the retreat. Alfari's nearly got Meganar, but he's not got much of a team around him right now. And Steve, he goes way deep for Hans Sama, finishes the job. Schalke just keep on rolling.
I mean, they can just keep picking more and more targets.
All right, Alfari gets one. Maybe you can get Rallis. Whoa, way under tower. That's a shutdown. Stevie's isolated just like that, but Wisdom might just go down. Yes, he will. Alfari has still got a bit of Meganar left, but he is surrounded by Schalke members, and he's just ran out of time. Double kill for the Vladimir.
So despite a few kills going over to Misfits, it doesn't really matter in the end, Pyra, because now you have carries picking up the kills left and right. It's another tower going down. Mid tower died before. Schalke is just looking at that Baron, looking at the next Mountain Drake. Pick up the big objective.
This is how it all starts.
So he jumps over, flash kicks again, and Selfie doesn't react at all. Obviously, it's hard. It's pretty quick if you don't have your focus right where he jumps in. But there is time to react, and he's not doing it. And
oh, yeah. Steve is able to finish that pretty easily despite the exhaust on. And I mean, at least Misfits get a bit of gold back, but it is looking really hard to come back from this.
This should be Schalke's game, setting us up for game 4 here for them. They found a recipe that worked in this game. Still felt like there was a lot of questions when it came to pick and ban, the setup we had on the side of Misfits. do still question if Anivia was the right choice, but I do also think it's a lot about Gilius just performing really well in this game and setting up all these kills and then Misfits falling apart completely.
But can they do it 2 more times? If this game ends as expected, and Schalke are able to close this one out, and Misfits, oh yeah, Wisdom, he's got to get out of town. I don't know about this one. He's still getting kicked back. This isn't looking good. Wisdom just wanted to check out the ward, but he finds himself completely dead. Once again. Now you've got to get your heads back in the game for this one. Misfits tried something, didn't work. Selfie has just not had really any impact in this game. He did finish off his tier as Seraph's Embrace, but it is too little and too late to have a big effect. Wisdom not here and not available for the smite. Selfie might get caught into the back of the Baron pit. It would be a miracle attempted to steal, but he's going to have to survive Steve first. And here he comes right about the backside. This Anivia's got nowhere to go but into Ignar's mouth. Fox is chasing down. That's a dead Anivia. Ignar's gonna fall. A double kill for the Vladimir, and they take the Baron as well. Looking to push this one all the way to the end. Timewinder, Steve diving on in, picks up a spree kill, and it is only Alfari.
Schalke setting up the Baron, gets more kills, Pyra. Getting everything in this game, and it's looking like a guaranteed win.
Whoa, that was brave.
Start already now talking about the next game. What do we need to change? Was it the right last pick we had? Because Gilius and the rest of Schalke went crazy in this game. The last pick, Lee Sin. The comfort pick.
Nobody saw that one coming. Gilius has had a monster impact in this game.
Yeah, if you
guys he's unlocked the carries. This is the crucial thing. They need to do this multiple times. Let's see the Baron fight one more time. It's desperate mode for Selfie to try and steal it, but nobody saw the teleport.
Yeah, at this point, again, the game and the play is already lost. It's just Schalke being able to clean up kills now. Good TP from Steve. Picks up the kill. Don't want to risk it. Try to steal with the arrow as well. When it doesn't happen, Schalke chases. Schalke picks up the kills. Open up the base as well. Inhib is down.
And they also got another Mountain Drake while we were replaying through that one. So
yeah, why not?
30 minutes in, it's going to be even easier for them to close it out. They've just got to do it.
Gotten everything anyway. Push in, look for that last team fight, look to win the game. Big confidence boost here for Schalke. Same thing, fun enough, against Rocket.
Yep.
Like, lose 2 games, bounce back in game 3. Game 4 was where Rocket went back to what worked for them, and Schalke went back to what didn't work for them, and they lost that game pretty convincingly. Just gotta see Schalke not revert back to this 1-3-1 comp that has not been working for them at all. Finally, they actually had a Vladimir and Lee Sin combination that could win the mid lane for Schalke.
Yeah, go Gilius.
And they used it and very quickly just roamed to the side lanes and impacted the side lanes as well.
Not much else to be said about it. Curtain call opening right on up, and Anivia is eaten by Ignar, but this wave is not going to last very long, and neither is this tower. Alfari nearly on Meganar, but they may not have enough time to do it. Gilius looking for the back, finds Hansama and picks him up, and the walls are collapsing around Misfits. Schalke are looking to end this one on their terms. No uncertainty about it. Wisdom being chased out of his own base by Steve. And they just knocked down the front door. This one's going to be over. 31.5 minutes. Schalke will secure one more game to keep their hopes of the LCS alive.
We couldn't have asked for much more, Pyra.
Just got to finish it.
We got some comfort picks. We got a great performance from Gilius.
Can they do it again? Schalke, they will stay alive here. 2-1 is the series.
That's basically what they need. Also because your most emotional player has had a great game on his signature champion, the Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Like, this is setting him up now for the next few games. I actually
Can he do it? Can he do it again?
Misfits might just be like, there's one champion you can carry on right now, Lee Sin.
It's going to ban it.
Let's actually not ban Fiora because you're not really afraid of Steve anyway, and we know Schalke.
Steve got big, but mostly because everyone got big that game.
Sure, yeah, of course. But like Steve is a great team fighter, but Fiora is not the greatest team fighter. So give him Fiora, ban the Lee Sin, and see if Gilius can do the same on a different kind of jungle pick. This was like a great performance from Schalke early on. The Nivea pick didn't work out at all. Fell behind, got ganked. I think there were some slow reactions from Selfie on 2 specific kicks from Gilius that actually ended up killing him. Especially the first one was key. Winning the lane completely.
Here's the
losing the lane.
Would the Varus have worked better in that situation?
I mean, Varus could have been ganked as well, like Anivia did. I just think it's hard to say. Like, I think Varus would have had a better time in laning phase than Anivia. I think Varus can much easier to sit and long-range wave clear and actually not rely on trying to trade a bit with the Vladimir, which is very hard to do. It's a very long cooldown on your Q as Anivia to play around. So, like, there was no pressure on Vlad in this lane, like, at all. He didn't care. He literally just walked around the queue, cleared the wave, and like, yeah, if you go to tower now, you do whatever.
This is what we get to see when Fox actually has a solid lane. He has a lot of help from his jungle, and he doesn't get stuck under tower the entire time. He's able to make a big play.
Because then it snowballs automatically to the other lanes, because when you have a winning mid, your jungler can step into the enemy jungle and actually go to other lanes because your mid laner can roam with him. And then suddenly, the bot lane started to struggle from Misfits because there was constantly pressure
the top
coming
lane
from
started
the side.
to struggle.
Then the top lane suddenly died, and Misfits fell apart.
Yeah, and Wisdom really couldn't keep up anything on his own, and he was actually a little bit separated from the team. The communication this time on Misfits didn't quite seem there, with Ignar eating the minions, trying to keep the waves pushing back, but then not getting Hansama, who was also getting caught. I mean, it was just a big domino effect.
Completely, like, the bot lane just fell apart, as you said. Like, clearly not used to being under pressure like this, because then suddenly Hansama returns, and like, I'm super low, I need you, Ignar, and Ignar eats a minion to like try and clear out the wave, and you're just like, well, now you're all gonna die. And then Gilius showed up and got the easiest kill of his life.
Yeah, and he did it a lot of times, actually. So, you know, Schalke, they've kept themselves alive here. Time for us to go on a cooldown, though. We're going to be back in 3.5 minutes. Don't go anywhere with Game 4 between Schalke 04 and Misfits is all coming down to it. Stay tuned.
I am Romer, you're AFK
I'm
PV.
I'm Romer too.
1v0.
Yes.
Okay, you're a roamer too. We're all roamers.
Yo, Selfie, the kick right in, and they're going to take him down.
Oh, it's crumbling, baby, under the fucking pressure. Okay, nice.
In comes Gilius, tagging in, kicking Ignar into all of them, and they just get cut through now. As Anivia's got nowhere to go but into Ignar's mouth. Fox is chasing down. That's a dead Anivia. Ignar's gonna fall. A double kill for the Vladimir, and they take the Baron as well. This one's gonna be over. 31.5 minutes. Schalke will secure one more game to keep their hopes of the LCS alive.